Let's talk cruise gear essentials. Okay, not every item in this video is going to be an absolute essential, but this will give you some amazing, great options to take on your next cruise. Let's start off with travel options that apply to any kind of travel trip you're taking, because we are cruise and travel. Welcome to All Things Wagner. We are JJ and Sherry, and we are a channel about all things travel and cruise vacation. So thanks for tuning in. Let's get right into it. Let's start with the hand scale. Everyone knows that if you are flying to your cruise ports, if your bags are over 50 pounds, you're going to get charged. You're going to be out in the middle in front of everyone trying to shift your skivvies around to make your bag 50 pounds or less. This is a great help. You can use it at home too, but we generally use it mainly in our cruise cabin, weighing our bags the very last depressing night as we're packing everything up to go home, to make sure when we hit the airport our bags are 50 pounds or less. And it is a great help to make sure you don't pay extra fees at the airport. Moving on to bag tag holders. This one I like because it's bright red. This comes in various colors, and we put our information there on the inside. It's a flap. You can put your name and telephone number, your email, whatever it is that you need in case your bags get misplaced or completely lost, unfortunately. It goes on the handle of your bags. And again, this comes in various colors. I will link all of these items down below. They are all from Amazon, so these will be Amazon affiliate links. It will give you a place to start your shopping search. So you don't have to buy exactly this item, but if you click and go through to Amazon, it will show you this product, and then it will show you other products as well. So you can click around and buy the best product that you like. Moving on to the next item is a toiletry bag. This is the bag that I like. It's from Bag Smart, and again, I will link it below. I like it because, for several reasons. First of all, I used to literally carry my toiletry items in Ziploc bags. Ain't nothing wrong with that, especially if things tend to leak. But I like this because it has this wonderful hanger right here on it, and I can hang it the night before when we're in the cruise port, because we always go a night before. Don't want to take a chance on flying in the day of your cruise and potentially missing your cruise. But this hanger here allows me to just hang it on the back of the hotel door, bathroom door, so the night before I have all my toiletry items. It has these smaller pockets above and below, and then the larger pockets, and these do fit full size. If you want to travel with full-size shampoo and conditioner bottles, for instance, these pockets here do fit the full size. So I really like this. Again, there are many different kinds and colors. I like this blue striped for you to get started with the toiletry bag. Very handy. Another good handy type of bag is a jewelry bag. Again, I literally used to put all of my jewelry in a Crown Royal purple drawstring bag. JJ's behind the camera and he's shaking his head. Everyone knows what that purple Crown Royal bag looks like. That's what I used to carry all my jewelry in. Now I separate it just a little bit because I wear more of like the gold chain jewelry. So I really like this holder. I like it because all of my gold chains, the little dainty chains, have a place to hang here and to tuck in to this pocket. And then you have a pocket over here to put earrings and bracelets and things like that, zip pocket. And then a ring, all the ring holders right here for your rings. And then a larger pocket up top here for, let's say, costume jewelry and bigger jewelry. So this gives you something to put all your jewelry in so that it won't get all tangled up, especially these gold chains. I was having to untangle my gold chains every time I took them out of the Crown Royal bag, or JJ was having to do it. So this will save you from having to do that. Another good thing to have is a perfume atomizer. JJ and I at one time were literally packing our full-size perfume and him cologne bottles to go in your bag. Of course, you would have to put it in your packed bags for the airlines because you can't take that much liquid. These perfume atomizers are perfect, and he uses one now too. These come in various colors but they all work the same. The tip on your perfume bottle comes off and you stick it in the bottom of this atomizer here, and then you just pump and it fills up. As you can see, there's a window here in the atomizer, fills up, and then this is your perfume or your cologne for the week. Much easier, takes up much less space and weight in your baggage than your full-size cologne bottles. Easy peasy. The next item also helps tremendously is a cord organizer. We just got back from Casper, Wyoming, and we took this cord travel bag with us then too. You need this even more depending on how many family members you have traveling with you and how many electronic items all of you have. So this is the small version of this electronic cord bag. And we, of course, carry camera gear and batteries and microphones and things like that. But probably if you have a family of four with a couple of kids that have all their devices and all their charging plugs, you might need the big cord bag. So as you can see, this has various pockets, small pockets here, and then a big pocket up top here. Again, more small pockets, and then a whole nother section that has a larger pocket right here and another big pocket here. So, and these just zip up. They're very secure and very tight. Your cords are not going to fall out. You can also carry this in your carry-on in the plane. I have a great video about carry-on essentials that I will link below with some great ideas in the plane to have with you on your trip or in the airport. And this is one of them that we take in our carry-on bags. Good and handy. The last any travel good gear option for you is a sound machine. Doesn't matter if you're in a hotel for the week, at a resort for the week, or in a cruise cabin, a sound machine has been wonderful for us. At first, what I was doing, and you may have done this too, is I was going onto YouTube and looking for a white noise video that I could leave on all night. Every single one of them, I'm sure they're on there, not like this, but every single one of them that I found woke me up about 3, 4 a.m. with an advertisement. Boy, when you're looking to get up at 6 or 6:30 and you're woken at 4 a.m., that really ruins your sleep. Sound machine is the answer. And I'll put this on, put it by the microphone. This happens to be like a fan machine because we sleep with a fan on at home, but there are lots of different noises. Even music. Nice. So if you like to go to sleep to music, lots of different options on this sound machine. So I'll link this one below. They have bigger ones. They have probably smaller ones. The smaller ones last for less amount of time. And so we just thought that this was the perfect size because it goes at least 8 hours during the night. So kids are running up and down the hallway of the cruise ship past your bedtime, whatever that may be, you will hear them much less. Sound machine. So that's the section for all travel items. The next item is do not leave home without these items. Most important items that you cannot replace probably. Well, one of them is your passport. Again, that's in your carry-on essentials video also that'll be linked below. The other item though that you will need on your cruise, and you might not could get them replaced, is your prescription medication. There are some things that you could go down to the med bay and get a prescription for, probably if you can prove that you have a prescription from home, but it's also going to cost you money. Some prescriptions or medications, especially if they're like opioids or a certain kind of medication, you might not be able to get from the med bay at all. So it's a very important must-have item, your prescription medication. So I carry mine in this little daily container. These are available on Amazon. I'll link them below. And JJ carries the Mongo. He's doing the bicep flex, and it's all in here. This is a little pill container that I also found on Amazon a couple of years ago that I really like. It's smaller, so if you just take maybe some supplements and a couple of small pills, this is a great container. It comes with something that looks like a guitar pick to open up the areas on the pill container. So these are 2 larger areas, and then it has 6 smaller areas down here too. And then the pick goes inside and it latches closed, good and tight. So if you don't want to take definitely the monster pill container, or even one of these, and this fits more into your bags or your schedule. Again, you can also carry this in your carry-on for any travel, but these are must-haves, people. Just make a checklist and check it off very first, your passports and your prescription medication. However, over-the-counter medication is also very important to have because it is very expensive on the cruise ship. If you're just needing some Tylenol or some Advil, something like that, you can get it on the ship most of the time, but it's going to cost you. For example, this Tylenol bottle we bought here on board was what, 24 pills? JJ, I don't have my glasses on. I think it's 24 pills, and it was $17. So be sure and bring your own over-the-counter pills. What I do is I put, and this happens to be my detergent, which I'll talk about in a second, but I just put some ibuprofen and some acetaminophen in a little baggie like this. I fill it up with pills and I just stick it in my carry-on. So don't forget your over-the-counter meds also. And while I'm talking about over-the-counter meds, a small first aid kit is also very important because things like Band-Aids and Bonine, which is over-the-counter seasickness meds, are also very good to have because they are very expensive on board the ship. And what I do, again, these little bags, I just love these little zipper bags. I put some Band-Aids and some antibiotic ointment, some gas pills, whatever it is that you know that you need to travel with. There's Bonine in here. There's Dramamine travel pills. And I have a little lint roller in here too, and it's a travel lint roller. That might come in handy if you're trying to get the lint off your dress clothes for dress your best night. So first aid kit is also very important, along with, gonna repeat it, your prescription meds and your over-the-counter meds. If this video has been helpful or informative in any way, hit that like button and subscribe for future cruise and travel information. We really appreciate it. This next section are cruise essentials for your cruise cabin. My number one favorite item that I personally will never cruise without. Some cruisers have moved on from this item, not the Wagners. The over-the-door shoe organizer. Here is our current organizer in this cabin. And you can see that it's on the inside of the door towards your shower. So if you need to pop out of the shower and say, oops, I forgot my fill in the blank, conditioner, my shampoo, whatever it is, it's right outside there in a pocket. We love the over-the-door shoe organizer. I will tell you, the one I'm linking below and the one that you use has net pockets instead of the plastic pockets. Not judging the plastic pockets. It's simply that your bottles or whatever you're sticking in there, your brushes might stick to the plastic when you're trying to pull them out of the pocket. So we like this one because it has net pockets. The next cruise cabin item, I probably should have put this one first, and I'm just going to tell you, it's called poopery. I bet you've heard of it. This is a travel size. And what I did was I bought the big refill bottle that I'll link down below from Amazon, along with this small spray bottle, and then I just refill and travel with this one. What happens is you spray the bowl with the poopery, and then you do your business, and it smells like flowers instead of something else. Poopery, get it? Believe me, those cruise cabin bathrooms are very small. Enough said. The next cruise cabin item is a USB extension hub, and I'll show you ours here because actually it works for 2 purposes. First of all, let me start with the cruise line new rule. Royal Caribbean lately, I think, is the only cruise line that's gone to this actual stated rule. The stated rule on their website is that the only extensions, plug extensions that are now allowed are USB multi-plugs only. So if your plug, for instance, well, I'll show you one. This plug here is one that I have used before. It is an EU extension plug, and multi-plug, what they're saying is no longer allowed is 3-prong and USB. That's considered a varied multi-plug, right? This is according to their website, and you will have people probably comment below that said, I got through with mine fine. Okay, just saying what the cruise line is saying is prohibited. They're saying something like this, and this was already in my bag, so that's how it got here. Something like this that has different kind of plugs, and it's a multi-plug, is no longer allowed. That's what Royal Caribbean is saying. What is allowed is a multi-plug that is all USB. So this is the one that we bring, and it doubles as a night light at night. As you can see here, it has those blue lights that are showing up. Absolutely. That's the only night light we use in our cabin, and it shows enough so that we can make our way to the potty during the middle of the night without, stubbing our toe or falling over something. It is a multi-plug USB outlet, and it has been great for this trip. So those are very nice and come in handy. The next cruise cabin item, which we love, is a fold-up hamper. This goes in flat in the suitcase right after the over-the-door shoe organizer, which also goes in flat. So these take up hardly any room in your luggage, and it's really nice. It's just a fold-out, pop-up, literally pop-up. There you go. Pops into place, goes in the corner of our cruise cabin, and then at the end of the cruise, I just dump all the laundry into one side of one of our suitcases. So then when we get home, I know this side is all dirty clothes. Comes in very handy and doesn't take up a lot of room in your cruise cabin. The next cruise cabin item is magnet hooks. You had to have heard about magnet hooks for your cruise cabin. They're very handy. I have a couple of different sets actually. I bought these long ago, and I don't know if you can see them here. You put them together, the bottom, and then you screw in the hook to the top. And as you can see here in this footage, we have everything. We have bags and wraps and hats and swimsuits hung up on the hooks in our cabin. And the cabin walls on almost all of your cruise cabins are metal. Some of the suites are not, the walls are not all metal, but most of the like balcony level and below categories on all of your ships, the walls are metal. And so these hooks will work perfectly for most anything that you want to hang on them. They also come in various weights. And so you can choose how heavy you think. You know, little hats and little bags are not going to weigh a whole lot, shawls or swimming suits. But if you want to hang like a bag with something in it or a heavier coat or jacket, you might need to get the heavy hooks. Now this next section I like to call the nice to haves. They're not absolute essentials until, of course, you're on a cruise and you need them. So these probably won't be used every cruise, but they are nice to have. The number one, because the number one question you'll hear from cruisers is, can I bring an iron? What about my travel iron? What about my steamer? It's a travel steamer. No, no, and no. You cannot bring anything with a heating element in it except for hair utensils. Hair element, right? Curling irons and straighteners. Those things you can bring, but anything else with a heating element, including any kind of iron, any kind of steamer, even if it's a small travel steamer, you're not allowed. It's on the prohibited list. Therefore, wrinkle release is your answer. I will add to this, however, everyone on the ship is literally in the same boat, get it, with their wrinkles. We've all had our bags packed for at least overnight, 24 hours at least, and everyone's going to be wrinkled together. But if you want a little heads up, and look at the size of this. I didn't happen to have a travel one to take with me this trip, but they do make them in smaller size. I like the Downy also. What you do is you hang up the item, you spray this on it, and then you smooth out the wrinkles and then just let it hang there. What you can also do is double time. You can use this, just as I described, and put it in the bathroom, maybe on one of these hooks, magnetic hooks I just described, in the bathroom while someone else is taking a shower, and let the steam and the wrinkle release do their job. So you'll be, again, a little leg up from everyone else who's in their wrinkles. Another nice to have item on the ship is a stain stick. This one happens to be Tide, and they come in like 3 or 4 packs. They come in other detergent types too, but you know, you take off the tip and then you dab onto the stain, whatever you got. Man, one trip a few months ago, I spilled coffee right here, right in the middle of my shirt on a white shirt. It was bad. I was glad that I had the stain stick actually. And along those lines is travel detergent. And clearly you can tell this is a, like a carry-on travel bottle, and I just put detergent in it. This is a double use. So one, if you get a stain, you can treat it with a stain stick and then literally wash it out in your sink. That'll work on the stain even better. Two, Royal Caribbean is one of those ships that does not have self-serve laundry. Some of the cruise lines do. Royal Caribbean does not. And you can send your laundry out to be washed and ironed. It costs money, of course. If you have an item and you just want to rinse it out, maybe have workout wear and you don't want it to sit in the laundry all week, you can carry your own small bottle of laundry detergent and wash it out in the sink yourself. That'll save you some time. Another nice to have item is a small sewing kit. You never know when a hem busts out. You're on day 6 and you've been at the buffet multiple times every day. Maybe something else busts out, a button busts out on a pair of pants. You never know. A small travel size sewing kit is very nice to have, as is, I didn't bring mine today, but I will link this below, a travel size of super glue. You break a heel, a piece of jewelry breaks. I had that happen to me one cruise. You have a small travel bottle, like I'll show here, of super glue, and the problem is fixed. Put it on there, let it dry for a minute, and you got your jewelry back together or your shoe back together. Now we get into the Playtime Extra section for cruise gear. The first one is a flexible tripod. You would think, come on, Sherry, I don't have a YouTube channel. Why do I need a tripod? This is why. You're on a cruise ship. The legs are flexible, bendy for you to wrap around the cruise ship ledge or wherever you are, right? You want to take a picture and you want your camera to be held there so you can, right, scoot back and do your nice little selfie, or you and your travel partners, your family. This comes in great on a cruise ship. These come in different sizes and colors, and we have one that the legs are black and white. It's great to use on a cruise ship because you can basically wrap it around anything and turn on your video and then take screenshots from your video for pictures. That's a little extra tip for you. Pro tip. Another good Playtime extra is a insulated tumbler. So there's lots of brands out there. There's very expensive brands like Yeti and Stanley, and then there are less expensive brands for you to carry around the ship and put water or tea or milk or juices, all the included drinks in your own tumbler as you walk around the ship. If you have a drink package of any kind and you get the cup from the cruise line, it has a sticker on the bottom that activates the soda machines. So that's completely different. You will get that cup if you buy a beverage package of any kind that includes sodas and alcohol. You will get a beverage cup. That's something different. What I'm talking about is you bringing your own tumbler for all the included beverages on board. Or I don't have my water flavoring. What we do is we used to carry our own Yetis, and we just add Mio. I like Mio flavoring, and we add that to our water, and then we have our own little juice. But most cruise lines have included like apple juice. Strawberry kiwi is JJ's favorite on this trip. So juices out of a machine, those are usually included, along with, again, water and iced tea and hot tea bags and things like that. But you bring your own tumbler, you can walk around with it all day long. Another good item to have for your playtime is a beach bag. Any kind of beach bag. I bought this one, I think, on a cruise ship years ago. It doesn't have any pockets or dividers inside, so everything just kind of gets dumped in. However, I will show you one here and link it below that is an amazing beach bag because it has dividers inside and pockets on the outside for you to put in water bottles or towels or whatever it is you want to take with you to the pool on board or into the beach during an excursion day. So beach bag is a great Playtime extra. The next Playtime extra is towel clips or a band. As you've probably seen on your last cruise, or if you're a new cruiser, you'll learn the wind can get very high on board. your pool deck or at your beach if you go on a beach day excursion. So towel clips are very good to have, and I'll show you here. They come in all different sizes and shapes. They come pelicans and birds and pink and right, all different colors and sizes and shapes for the clips, as well as I'll show you here the bands that are available, and you can just wrap them around the top of your chair where your towel is to keep it from blowing away. So it's always handy. The next thing that we did not bring with us this trip, but we have at home and have used before, is a waterproof phone cover. If you want to take your phone into the water with you, into the pool, and take pictures or selfies, you and your friends, you and your travel partners, a waterproof phone cover is extremely handy. All of them have straps so you can wear them around your neck also. The best way to test these when you get them in. Now this brand that I will link below for you, I've already done the test on and we know that it works. But there are lots of different brands out there. The best way to test them when you get it home is to put a Kleenex in the pouch, zip it up, put it in a filled sink full of water. Let it sit there for a while, maybe move it around, slosh it around, push it down, bring it back up, wash your hands, dry your hands off, dry the pouch off, and then open the pouch and see if the Kleenex, the tissue, is completely dry. If it is, then you have an excellent waterproof phone cover. The next Playtime extra is snorkel gear. Now we bought our own snorkel gear years ago. You can say whatever you want. It was even before COVID. You can say whatever you want about this is equipment that everyone has put their mouth all over and been spitting on. I know that they clean the gear. I know they do because I've seen them, but we just bought our own. A second reason is not only the germs, but a second reason is because JJ has facial hair, is a mustache and a goatee, and the snorkel gear would not stick to his face. So he had to get a full face snorkel gear mask, which I will also link below. And he was able to go out and snorkel. So having your own snorkel gear, what we would do when we packed our snorkel gear or knew we were going to go on an excursion that we wanted to snorkel off the beach, or we were literally going on a snorkel excursion and didn't want to use their equipment, we would pack it on one side of one bag. And that particular bag, I also put all of our swim gear, our swimsuit covers and our swimsuits, you know, maybe flip-flops, that kind of thing. So that when I unpacked, I knew all of this is swim gear. Yes, it takes up extra weight and it took up extra room. However, you have your own gear and you can snorkel at any beach at any time. So the next Playtime extra that we like to take with us are water shoes. That is for any beach, anywhere, anytime. Some of them are extremely rocky and also, you know, might have dangerous things like really sharp rocks or even cut glass or something on at the bottom of the ocean if you're talking entering into the ocean. And so water shoes are extremely helpful and keep your feet safe. So I'll link a pair of water shoes here on Amazon, and you can shop around because they come in all designs and all colors. And if you're interested in excursions for Caribbean ports, check out these videos right here for Cozumel and Costa Maya. And if you have any questions, be sure and put them below. We will answer as we answer all comments. Thanks for joining us and be blessed.